Hi girls, welcome and welcome back to Beautiful Daughters 99. Today I'm going to talk about modesty, which if you look at the title of the video, you will see by the title of the video. And yeah, I'm just going to go into the scripture pretty quickly here. But before I do, I'm going to be pulling from the epilogue of Proverbs 31, which is Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. I'm not doing all the verses of it, but I'm just going to do a couple of the verses of it. And you might know, people often talk of the Proverbs 31 woman, and this is a poem, so this isn't necessarily an actual woman. She could have actually existed, but this is qualities of a person that's sort of described in this. So I'm just gonna take a couple verses from that Proverbs 31:22 and 31:25 from the NIV. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. So you can see here, she is clothed with strength and dignity, so that's qualities of her character, and it's more of of your inner self and quality coming from there. It does say fine linen and purple, and you don't have to wear purple every day, but purple is a royal color, and fine linens are I don't know, just nice clothes, I guess. And so it's not talking about just throwing on something baggy that just completely covering yourself and just not having anything this is nice stuff that she's wearing. Within the strength and dignity part, you can see it's talking about quality of character, and there's a lot of different places in the Bible, various different scripture verses that to focus more on your inner beauty and growing your character more than physical appearance, and about how the Lord looks at your heart and not physical appearance, while people do look at that and not at the heart. And so that is a very important it's very important to focus on grow yourself as a person rather than what you look like and various different things like that. But it also, because your inner self does reflect outside and how you act, it also, depending on what you wear, can reflect who you are inside. And so it is important to show some dignity with what you wear, and just it shows that you have respect for yourself and for your body. And honestly, it's pretty easy in the autumn and the winter and even in the spring to be modest with what you wear, because it's cold outside, and so you're not gonna be wearing much of anything that you're just focusing on staying warm and not being really cold outside. So, but in the summertime, it's more of a difficulty, and a lot of people are what am I supposed to wear? Is this thing okay? And I mean, generally, most things that I can think of off the top of my head are fine. Mainly, if your tops are go down a lot, you might want to just think more about it and look at it. And I'm not saying that you have to throw away your clothes or anything, because first of all, like, you can give away your clothes that might be better than something else that somebody is wearing. And second of all, you can do different things like with layering, and you can find a really cute piece of clothing that like might not necessarily be completely modest, but like you can pair that with something else, and like it can still all look cute, and it can still all like just be a nice and modest outfit that doesn't have to like be boring and bland and not stylish. And you can do a lot of different things to add on, like as if you were accessorizing, but just like adding on more pieces of clothing. I'm like very careful about that area of the body, like more so than anybody I've ever met. So I might be slightly crazy on that, and you probably could go a little more lax on that than like how I would. But you know, it whatever. But and aside from that, the only other thing I would really pay more close attention to is in the summertime, like how short your skirts or shorts are. Like they shouldn't like be so short that like when you sit down, like they come up and like it shows like your underwear or something. Like it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to continue wearing jeans and long skirts throughout the summer. Like you can if you want to, and if it's a cooler day, then that's probably a better option. But like you can wear shorts and you can wear shorter skirts. You just need to make sure like it comes to a certain point, but like that can vary just on comfortability for different people and just how it looks in general. It's really weird because like something can look really nice like when you're standing up, but then when you're sitting down, like it just looks awful, and like it's really hard to figure out. But just as a general rule, like I don't know, just keeping your top like more covered, and like when you're wearing shorter pants or skirts, like just making sure that it goes down to an appropriate length. And again, like it varies between how far your joints go, and I mean it's completely different for many different people. And so again, I think I've touched on this a little bit before in different things, but like you shouldn't base something off of how it works for somebody else, because it might not work that same way for you. That goes for clothing very much so. But just like keeping in mind those two tips is honestly all I really have for you on that. Like I can't really think of much of anything else that would be of any concern. So yeah. And again, just like looking more at the inner character of yourself too, like is very important, and will reflect outward, even like in what types of choices of clothing you wear. Now another thing is you could have appropriate clothes, but you might not wear them in the appropriate setting. Like all your clothes could be perfectly fine, and most of them probably are, but like you're not gonna wear a crop top and shorts to church, and you're not gonna wear dress pants and a polo to the beach, right? And it's the same thing like with the seasons. You're not gonna wear shorts in autumn, and you're not gonna wear flannel in the summertime. And so it just depends like where you're going and what time of year it is, and just those different little factors. And I mean, yeah, like, and that's not necessarily like an issue of modesty, but like it is just like being aware of what you're putting on just for a particular setting, and that is something that like you should keep in mind. Yeah, I also don't like want you to be too concerned with what you're wearing unless like it's been a really big thought on your mind, an issue, and like you've looked at your wardrobe and you're like, yeah, maybe I should think more about this. Like, you shouldn't be too concerned or too self-conscious with what you're putting on, because there is a good chance that it's probably okay. But I think the main things you should keep in mind are just those 2 tips, and the setting that you're gonna be in, and asking God, praying to God, and like looking at an item in question, and just like talking to yourself and talking to God about like how you feel convicted of, is this something I should wear? Is this something that I could wear with something else? Is this something that I should just not wear and nobody else should wear? Like, just talk about that with God, and that's like a really big point. And then also just like what you're comfortable with and what your style is, because you have your own personal style and like different types of clothing that look really good on you, different colors that you really love, and so you should just like keep in mind those little things. And if you keep all of that in not like an anxious whirlwind of thoughts and like constantly every time you put your clothes on, but just like keep it in mind subconsciously as you pick something out the night before or before you get ready for the day, whenever you pick out your clothes, just like have that there in case you have had some concerns about what you're wearing before. And that's honestly basically it. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's much else within that to be too concerned about. Yeah. All right, that's all I have for you for this one. So, as always, if you have any questions or videos you'd like for me to do, you can email me at beautifuldaughters99@gmail.com. You can go in the comments, and you can also find me on Instagram, beautifuldaughters99, and you can like and subscribe and stuff if you want to. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one. So goodbye.